So Cordelia, as LJ's inaugural Marketer of the Year winner, tell us a little bit about the marketing conference that you held for other libraries.
I would say it probably was born here in Chicago back in 2013 when I attended a sort of round table with other marketing and communications professionals from libraries who all kind of felt like there's not a whole lot of content out there for us, for our specific needs. And I always find when we get together, it's a combination of sharing best practices and also group therapy. And kind of thought there was a need for both. And so when my CEO came to me with the idea of hosting some people, I thought, oh, I have this list.
So what were the takeaways from that conference?
That group therapy is always good, number one. I think, doing what we do in libraries is such a labor of love, and we all put so much of ourselves into it, and I think a lot of us kind of like stress ourselves out. So getting together and kind of sharing what we've learned and what we've kind of built in our knowledge base over the years is really helpful, because not only can we commiserate on things that don't go well, but we can also share things that really do go well. And it also feels really good to share with another library system something that worked for you, with the idea that maybe something that took you 2 years will only take them 1 year, because they can build on what you've already learned and
Absolutely.
gather.
That's basically our reason for being, so I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
So at the risk of being a little self-referential, since we're on video, can you talk to me about the role that video played in your recent successful campaign?
The role that video played?
Yes.
We decided we really needed a good video to tell the story of the library out in the community. And instead of us talking about ourselves, we really wanted to get stakeholders, as you mentioned, from all different walks of life and who use the library in all different ways on video, talking about what the library really meant for them. So instead of us talking about ourselves, it was them talking about us. We gathered a bunch of different people through stories of impact and connections. We brought them in, videoed them in our locations, and then we're able to edit it together in such a way that it told a story about the relevancy of libraries today. My favorite quote from that video is this one mom, and she could afford to go to Barnes & Noble, or she could afford to go, anywhere, but she chooses to go to the library. And she said, it's like shopping for free. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And I love that quote. And of course, we had many wonderful stories from adults to kids to everything in between. So it really just helped put a face on the library user in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg community.
And how did you get those out to people who are not already following the library social media channels?
Yeah, so we put it out through a variety of different means, but we also had the opportunity to do some paid advertising that year, which was really nice. Our county, which funds us, gave us some one-time advertising dollars, so we actually took clips of that video and put them in movie theaters.
Oh, that's great.
Which is a very broad base, and that was really nice. We also were able to put some on the local public television station, and just some places where we might catch people who wouldn't normally know about the library or like you said, follow us on social media. So that was really valuable. We also, as part of that campaign, did billboards and things like that, using the same messaging that came out of the video. So it was really part of a larger integrated campaign to raise awareness in the community over the course of that year about the library.
And were you able to see an increase in new card signups or an increase in returning inactive users?
We did see an increase. We were actually able to plot our library users on a map in relation to where the billboards and the movie theaters were. Because those are really hard types of advertising to measure.
Right.
Social media and online advertising, you can measure clicks and things, but with those larger, more visual ways, I guess, for lack of a better term, it's harder to know your return. So we were able to look at the concentrations of cardholders a year later and see that there were higher concentrations around where those videos played.
Tell us about what you did with Orange Boy.
Yeah, so we've been working with Orange Boy since about 2013, and we were fortunate that we came on board right as they were launching the new Savannah platform, which had not only the analytics and the dashboards that they're known for, but the messaging feature too. And so what we did was, number one, we sort of aligned our strategic plan measures with Orange Boy measures, or vice versa, depending on how you look at it, so that we were using those measures to track progress towards strategic goals. And that really allowed us to kind of embed those measures into the whole organization. And then the other thing we did was we really took a look at our occasionals and our inactive users, which is another real benefit of having Orange Boy, because you can see who those are. and really targeting them to try to bring them back into the fold. So we started reoccurring email campaigns to try to bring them back in. And then through that, we also started to increase our usage of that email tool to other kinds of emails too. Branch-centric emails that are very targeted, survey emails, so we can get real-time survey data now and follow up with people who maybe didn't have a great experience and also people who did.
Right.
And do that in real time instead of just once a year, which is what we've been doing before. And then just all kinds of different targeted messages. And we started small and we've been building it up. And I have to say our customer base loves the emails. We have a very low unsubscribe rate, less than 1%. And we find that when we send the emails, we can measure a increase in usage that correlates directly back to the email. And we've done some research to show that. So it's really helping us a lot. I think the next wave for us is with these large partnerships that we have. Like we have a partnership with our school system where every student ID number is a library account, but we don't have emails for those kids. So we can't reach them with messages. So when they become inactive, we can't necessarily target them. So we're just kind of looking at that and thinking about it in a different way. How can we reach those audiences for whom we don't have email? We use other tools. We work with our school system because they obviously can email their students. So there's lots of different things that you can do, but we've really found the Orange Boy to be very helpful because we're able to see in real time what our customers are doing and use that data to really make decisions about not only how we market, but how we design our services.
So what's the next big thing?
What is the next big thing? Well, I've got a lot of ideas. So where we in Charlotte-Mecklenburg are in the process of redeveloping our main library. And so I think all of the different tools that we put in place to how we tell our story as a library system are definitely going to be a part of that project as well. But in addition to that, we're just continuing to increase our cardholder penetration. I mean, we want to get to 100% of households, with active library cards.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's perfect.
Yeah, thanks.